From the crisp uniforms of the High Command to the desperate ragtag Volkssturm fighting in the burning ruins of Berlin, handguns were more than just weapons. They were symbols of authority and a final line of defense. As resources dwindled and enemies multiplied, the German arsenal became a chaotic mix of engineering marvels and desperate scavenges. This is every single pistol used by Germany in World War II. Standard service pistols. Pistole 08, Luger. This is the Pistole 08, known globally as the legendary Luger, a weapon that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie rather than a trench. You can't miss the unique toggle lock action that snaps upwards like a knee every time it fires, a mechanism as mesmerizing as it was complex. It served as the primary sidearm for officers early in the war, becoming the ultimate war trophy for Allied soldiers who risked their lives just to bring one home, despite the gun being notoriously sensitive to mud and dirt. Pistole 38, P38. The Pistole 38 was the modern industrial workhorse designed to replace the expensive, clockwork-like Luger. It features a distinctive open slide design that exposes the barrel to cooling air and was the first military pistol to successfully use a double-action trigger, allowing a soldier to carry it safely with a round in the chamber. It became the standard issue for the Army and SS, but by 1945, rough late-war versions marked CYQ were flooding the front lines, bearing heavy tool marks and rough finishes that screamed of desperate mass production. For pilots, tank crews, and police who needed concealability over raw range, Germany issued these compact pistols. Compact and officers' pistols. Walther PP. The Walther PP, or police pistol, defined the sleek look of modern blowback handguns for the rest of the century. It features a fixed barrel and clean, snag-free lines that offered exceptional accuracy for a pocket-sized weapon. Standard issue for pilots and high-ranking officers, it provided reliable, immediate defense in the cockpit or staff car without the heavy bulk of a full-sized combat gun. Walther P38. This is the P38, the detective model, shortened specifically for undercover work and concealment. It sports a shorter grip and slide than the standard PP, making it vanish easily into a uniform pocket, a shoulder holster, or even a waistband. It was the weapon of choice for the Gestapo, tank crews, and senior officers who prioritized concealment over range, serving as a dark symbol of the police state. Mauser HSC. The Mauser HSC is a masterpiece of Art Deco engineering that looks like it was designed in a wind tunnel. It features a semi-shrouded hammer and smooth, snag-free curves designed to slide quickly out of clothing without catching on a button or strap. The Navy and Luftwaffe issued these heavily, valuing a sleek weapon that wouldn't catch on flight suits or Navy rigging during emergency movements. Sauer 38H. The Sauer 38H was perhaps the most technically advanced pocket pistol of the entire war. It distinguishes itself with a unique lever on the side that could cock or decock the internal hammer with a simple thumb press, a feature years ahead of its time. Paratroopers and police units prized it for this safety feature, which allowed them to carry the weapon ready to fire with zero risk of an accidental discharge upon landing. Ortgies Pistole. The Ortgies is a smooth, hammerless relic from the interwar years that found new life in the chaos of the 1940s. It lacks sharp edges and features a unique grip safety button on the backstrap that must be squeezed firmly to fire. When the war turned against Germany, thousands of these commercial guns were requisitioned from civilians and pressed into service to arm rear-echelon troops who had no other option. As the Wehrmacht expanded across Europe, they seized and reissued these major captured weapons. Captured and occupied production. Pistole 640B, Browning High Power. The Pistole 640B is the famous Browning high power kept in production under occupation in Belgium. Its thick grip conceals a double-stack magazine holding 13 rounds, offering nearly double the capacity of standard German designs. The Waffen-SS and paratroopers grabbed nearly every single one produced, prizing that superior firepower dominance for brutal close-quarters combat where reloading meant death. Pistole 626B, FN 1922. The FN 1922 was a staple of the German occupation forces, looking like a Frankenstein of pistol design. It resembles a stretched-out pocket pistol, featuring a long barrel and a distinct cap at the muzzle to extend the sight radius. It became the most common sidearm for police and administrators holding down the fort in Western Europe, serving as a grim reminder of occupation. Pistole 35P, this 35, or Radom, manufactured under tight supervision in occupied Poland. It combines the rugged locking system of a Browning with the comfortable ergonomic grip of an American 1911. German paratroopers considered it one of the best handguns of the entire war for its reliability and stopping power, even as Polish factory workers tried to sabotage parts during production. Pistole 227T, CZ-27. The CZ-27 was the industrial horse of the occupation, churned out by the thousands in Czechoslovakia. It uses a simple blowback action and is easily identified by the flat, vertical serrations on the slide block. It was the most numerous foreign pistol in German service, arming hundreds of thousands of police and security units who needed a simple, no-nonsense weapon. Pistole 224T, CZ-24. The Pistole 224T was the complex predecessor to the CZ-27, inherited after the annexation of Czechoslovakia. It uses a rotating barrel mechanism that locks the breech, a remarkably complicated feature for a small caliber gun. Issued to early war units, it was eventually phased out because its complex machining slowed down the desperate need for production speed. Pistole 39T, CZ-38. Soldiers nicknamed the CZ-38 the Nutcracker for its odd angular appearance and heavy handling. It features a hinge at the muzzle that allows the barrel to tip up for cleaning and a notoriously heavy double-action-only trigger. The Luftwaffe and police got stuck with them, generally hating the long trigger pull that ruined accuracy, but carrying them because they had no other choice. Pistole 37U, Femaru 37M. The Pistole 37U came from Hungarian factories specifically for the Luftwaffe's survival kits. German contract versions added a manual thumb safety that wasn't present on the original design, per Luftwaffe specifications. Pilots and ground crews used these extensively, relying on them for survival if shot down behind enemy lines, trusting the reliable Hungarian engineering. Pistole 625F, Mollet 1935A. The Pistole 625F is a sophisticated French design captured after the fall of Paris. It stands out with a durable black enamel finish that resists rust better than traditional bluing, looking almost painted. Occupation forces used it despite its unique, hard-to-find ammunition, simply because the Wehrmacht needed every gun they could get to police the vast conquered territories. Pistole 624F, Ruby types. The Ruby isn't one gun, but a family of crude Spanish copies captured from French armories. They're blocky, simple blowback pistols produced by dozens of small workshops with wildly varying quality standards. Germany issued these by the thousands to static troops who just needed something that went bang, though many soldiers feared the gun might be as dangerous to them as to the enemy. Pistole 671I, Beretta M1934.
After Italy surrendered in 1943, Germany seized thousands of highly regarded Berettas. They feature the iconic open slide design that exposes the barrel, virtually eliminating jam-causing stovepipes even in the worst conditions. SS units in Italy swore by them, trusting their extreme reliability in the dusty, gritty Mediterranean theater where other guns failed. Germany also officially purchased these Spanish contract pistols to fill the gaps in their supply lines. Spanish contract pistols. Astra 300. The Astra 300 is a strange-looking gun but hits like a hammer. It features a tubular slide, often called a cigar, and a steep grip angle that points naturally for instinctual shooting. The Luftwaffe bought 85,000 of them, proving that aesthetics didn't matter as long as the weapon cycled every time the trigger was pulled. Astra 600. The Astra 600 was custom-built for the Wehrmacht because they wanted the Astra design but in their standard caliber. It looks like the 300 but uses a massive, stiff recoil spring to safely fire the powerful 9mm Luger round without a mechanical locking mechanism. It gave German troops a compact powerhouse that shared ammunition with their MP40s and P38s, simplifying logistics. Finally, desperate times called for these legacy weapons pulled from museums and attics. Reserve and legacy weapons. Mauser C96. The Mauser C96 broom handle is a legendary relic of the First World War that saw combat yet again. It feeds from an internal box magazine using stripper clips and connects to a wooden holster that doubles as a stock, turning it into a carbine. The Waffen-SS and motorcycle dispatch riders used them effectively, laying down accurate fire at ranges a standard pistol could never dream of hitting. Dreiss 1907. The Dreiss 1907 was scraped from the bottom of the barrel when the Allies crossed the Rhine in 1945. It features a bizarre design where the entire upper receiver pivots forward on a pin for maintenance, looking fragile and obsolete. Long retired, it was shoved into the shaking hands of the Volkssturm for the final, hopeless defense of the Reich, a symbol of total collapse. And there you have it, the complete arsenal of German combat pistols from World War II, ranging from the finest engineering of the century to the desperate scraps of a fallen empire.